What it do to my champs all around the world? Hoping everybody is staying positive, staying motivated, and staying real, breathing, being in the moment, and being yourself. It's a beautiful Sunday right now as I'm recording this. I'm actually about to get ready to do an interview with somebody, but I'm enjoying some nature right now, resetting, reflecting, and reminding, every storm runs out of rain. Words by the great Queen Maya Angelou. Every storm runs out of rain. Which brings me to my topic. This is for everybody, for the most part. It's for everybody, but I can't help to push the envelope a little bit more for my brothers because I know we got a different logic and embracement of adversities that can shape the quality and duration of the storms that we know. And sometimes we have to be reminded every storm runs out of rain. Yeah, man, we got to learn to give ourselves some space for grace. We have to learn to give ourselves some space for grace. In the world right now, it's hyper competitive, it's real lonesome, challenging. However, it's a stage set for yourself to bring out the best version of yourself. We all got to go through training. We all got to go through the challenges, the rain, to become a better person, to be a better helping hand, and to increase our sense of development, right? Sometimes that could get challenging. Depending on how you was raised, depending on how you look at yourself, depending on your values, depending on your morals. Certain things just don't fly with you. Certain things don't sit well with you. And we're taught to mask it for the greater socialization, right? Meaning, if you're going through something, be mindful that everybody else is going through something. Your storm may be somebody else's sun. Like all of these type of theories and thinking processes to basically say nothing is that serious. Well, sometimes in life it is that serious, man. And depending on your resiliency, that's why a lot of brothers check out, not just mentally, but I mean some brothers actually take their lives. Some youth actually take their lives. So we have to develop safe spaces for ourselves. Fellas, I know that's the hardest thing to do. It could be so hard, man, especially when a lot of our escapisms are tied to things that can either put us at a detriment or risk us. May that be, drinking, that could go left to right, dealing with all type of women that can risk you, holding it in, that can, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to reset a habit that you've developed for so many years. It's hard to cut it off, right? And I've come to understand, like, that's where the change is at, So you have to give yourself some space for grace. However, you must still be disciplined, especially if this is what you want. And fellas, I know more times than not, we crash out or be wanting to crash out over principle, right? You got to ask yourself, are your principles like an iceberg set in the middle of the ocean, taking on each weather, taking on each storm, and staying positioned, staying sturdy, if you will? Or are your principles like a ship going against the waves, adapting to its environment, surviving, and moving forward? There's many paths to success, right? And one thing I understood is success is only valuable to the successor, however success looks to you. And I say that to say, when we try to not necessarily chase but attain validation from individuals outside of ourselves, you'll more than likely, how they say, crash out, or you'll feel small. And I seen a quote that said, "Nobody thinks of you more than yourself." Like, and that gave me a peace of mind to say, like, nobody really thinking about you, yo. And I'm not saying that in a mean way or a negative way. It could be positive too. What I'm saying is, you are your greatest movie. You are your greatest product. You are your greatest work. Whenever you're thinking about yourself and critiquing yourself without action, it's like putting your car in park and hitting the gas. Creating safe spaces and it's an asking of bringing out a part of us that we wouldn't normally do. Have those self-conversations if you're not ready to have them with others. Do things you wouldn't normally do on a regular when you're in the mood that you may resort to something you may regret later. It's those moments. And as time go on, you'll develop habits that'll strengthen you as a person, and you'll look back on certain adversities like, oh man, that storm ran out of rain. That storm ran out of rain. And I know a lot of times, fellas, when we get into these relationships, partnerships, dealings, sometimes it's hard or can be challenging for us to move on without feeling we got to move on without leaving debris from a storm, meaning crashing out. I've come to realize you don't got to do that. Create a safe space for yourself. You know when somebody wants you. You know when somebody wants to be a part of your life. And even with that, things change. Things change. Everything doesn't remain the same. So you got to ask yourself, through those waves and challenges, what are you going to do to make sure that you're still safe enough to validate yourself, love yourself, believe in yourself? Every storm passes, and every storm's run out of rain. Develop a program for yourself, man, a regiment, something to keep you at peace, something that you can reflect on yourself positively, plan, prepare, practice, and perfect to elevate you to a space where things that once bothered you, things that you once figured you couldn't sleep about, you in a position now where you can help others with it. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Because you're worth more. You're worth more. You're worth more. You need it more. You value more. Don't let temporary shortcomings and temporary celebrations distract you from the long run. Always remember, man, every storm runs out of rain. Give yourself some space. Create some space for grace for yourself. I'm out of here. Stay positive, stay motivated, stay real. One.